Hi everybody and welcome back to Dragon Eye Creations. If you're new here, my name is Laurel and I love to create. One of my favorite things to create, of course, is gnomes. And we all know somebody who thinks that coffee is life. So I wanted to make a gnome for that. So I did make a few different coffee gnomes, but I really wanted to share this guy with you. He is just so cute. Of course, he has a top hat, one of my favorites. So we're going to get started right now and I'm going to show you guys how to make this adorable coffee is life gnome. Okay, we're going to start with these to-go cups from Dollarama, and I'm just going to use two of them, cutting off the bottom of one just so they fit nice together. It gives us the nice perfect height, and then just makes it smoothly, and it's a nice smooth fit too. And then a little bit of hot glue right along the inside to hold it together. Next, I cut out a craft foam circle. This is about 6-inch diameter. And now I'm going to take this brown minky fabric and I'm going to cut it so it's a little taller than the cups together there. And just cut a strip of that. Strip of hot glue along the end. And then again along the top. And we're just going to continually wrap that along, adding hot glue when we need it. Just wrapping it nice and tight all the way along. Not covering that rim at the top though. Finish with hot glue again. And then we're just going to cut off the excess. Next, we're going to take a lid from those same cups and we're going to just attach with hot glue to this same brown minky fabric and then cut a loose circle around that, leaving us enough extra to wrap around the edge here. So we're just going to run some hot glue right along the edge and then just tack down that fabric all the way around. And then just trim off the extra. Add a little hot glue to the top of our cup and put the lid back on, just nice and tight, pressing it firmly. Add a little hot glue if necessary if you see any little pieces sticking out. And then we're going to take that same craft foam circle we made, add a little hot glue all the way around it, attach to some brown minky fabric again, and again a loose circle around that. Enough that we can just wrap the edges around. So a little hot glue all around the edge and then just tack that all up around that. Nice and tight. And now I'm going to cut out a 6-inch circle again out of this faux fur. This is a cream kind of colored faux fur. This was a scarf I actually got from Dollarama that I cut up. It is a beautiful color. I loved it to go with our brown. And now I'm just going to hot glue the edges all the way down, all the way around. And then we're going to just attach it to the top of our brown and craft foam circle there. Just gluing it all the way around. And then just kind of curl up the foam circle on the sides and curl it down in the front. That's why I like to use the foam. It's nice. It just kind of forms nicely. And then I just made a mark where I want my cup to sit on my hat. And then just hot glue it down. And then I just cut a strip of that same tan kind of colored fabric. And now we're going to hot glue the edges down on both sides, making a nice trim piece here for our hat. And glue it down all the way around, trim off the extra. And next I'm going to take this is about a 2.5-inch Styrofoam ball. I'm just going to cut a little hole right in the top, put a little hot glue in that hole, and then attach it to this 6-inch cone that I have. And then I'm going to cut a spot in the bottom of the hat that I forgot to do previously. So we're just going to cut little pie shapes and then glue them all the way down, all the way around. So just attaching all 3 layers there. And just tack it all the way down. And then it fits nicely on that Styrofoam ball. Next, I'm going to take some of that faux fur again, and we're going to wrap it all the way around our cone, starting about 1/2 inch, it looks like I did there, down from the bottom of the cup, and just attach it all the way around with some hot glue. Hot glue all the way around the fabric and just roll it up. Finish it off with some hot glue. Doing it loosely, we don't want it like nice and tight because we don't want to show where that changes. And I did find the ball was a little loose, so I just stabbed a thin skewer all the way through it, all the way to the bottom, and then just cut it off. Nice and firm now. And now we're taking some hair foam rollers, and I just folded one in half after removing the wire and cut it in half directly. And this one we're going to remove the wire from the inside and fold it in half again and cut it in half. I'm going to then cut about an inch off of these ones here. This is for the legs. They're a little too long otherwise. Next, this is for our arms. I'm going to wrap it in that same tan colored faux fur and just hot glue it down and roll it up. Trimming off our extra again. Same thing for our other one. Hot glue it down, roll it up. Trim off your extra. Next, for our beard, I used a brown faux fur. This is a 4-inch square that I cut into a triangle with my knife. I then made space for a nose. Put a little E6000 in the middle of a polymer clay nose that I've made previously. I'll leave a link in the description on how to make the noses and the hands for you guys. And we're just going to attach that with a little hot glue around the outside, E6000 in the center. And then a little hot glue on the back of the faux fur. And attach it directly to where the fabric starts on our cone there. Next, our wires from our hair foam rollers, we're going to cut the ends off, figure out how long we want them, and then attach with some hot glue. Make them about the same, some hot glue. Put them off to the side for a little bit. And now I'm just going to cut this strip of, this is a really fluffy brown fabric. I have a brown minky again. And we're just going to again glue down the edges, making us some nice trim. And then wrap it all the way around our arms. At the bottom here, this will be the bottom of our arms. Cut off the extra, add a little hot glue again. Again, wrap around with hot glue. Add a little hot glue and cut off the extra. A little more hot glue if necessary. And now we're just going to cut the tips of those wires, leaving off a little bit so we can attach our hands. And then we're just going to poke the wire on the other end right into that styrofoam ball, just at an angle a little bit, just so it's not sticking straight out the side or our hat will be hard to get on. So you're just going to kind of want to poke it in at an angle there, and then bend your arms down. Add a little E6000 to the ends of our arms and a little hot glue right at the base. And then we're going to poke in some polymer clay hands. Again, I'll leave a description for those. We're just going to attach those nice and firm. Add a little hot glue on the top where the styrofoam ball and the arms meet. And we're going to just press that firmly in there. Do the same thing on the other side. Hot glue, attach your arm. Little E6000 on that wire, some hot glue, and press your hand in. Next, we're going to put hot glue all the way around the base of our hat there, and attach it right to that styrofoam ball and right at the bottom of his nose as well. And next for his legs, we're wrapping those up in the brown minky that we made his hat out of. We're just going to keep wrapping those up with hot glue. I'd also taken a strip of the same brown minky, just hot glued down the edge to hem it, and I wrapped it all the way around our cone to mimic the top of his pants. Now I'm just taking some skewers and we're just going to stick those right into our legs here. These are those kind of square skewers. I like these. They fit nice and firm in these hair foam rollers. And now we're just going to take a tool and just cut the ends of those off so it's nice and flush. Next, I'm taking these little containers. These are about 1.5 inches tall. These are from Dollarama as well. And now some plastic Easter eggs that we're going to take apart. And I'm just going to use the bottom parts. I like those parts. They're more round than the tops. You can use both though, it doesn't matter. And now I'm going to fill those with some little tiny pebbles. And then top it off with a little bit of sand. Add a little hot glue all around the edge. And now I'm just gluing it to this cardboard that I have. And then we're going to do the exact same thing with our other egg. Some pebbles, some sand, some hot glue. And at this point I realized I did not leave enough space for my containers. So I'm actually going to trim around them now, which I usually don't do, but it's a little extra step. You don't have to do this if you leave space for your containers beside your eggs. So now I'm going to take those and glue them back onto the cardboard again, and then glue my containers right behind that. And the same thing with the other one. Just glue it down to your cardboard. Again, you wouldn't have to do this step if you left space for your containers the first time. But then just trim all the way around those, leaving you a nice kind of figure 8 shape when you're done. There's a little hole in the top of those, so I did add a little hot glue just because I was having problems with sand coming out of it. And then just trim all the way around that one. And now that same really fuzzy brown minky that we used for the trim on the sleeves, we're going to make some boot fabric out of that. So we're just going to add a strip of hot glue at the bottom, and then glue all the way around the base of the boot as well, and then just roll that up. So I am working a little bit low, it's a little bit out of camera there. Just tacking it down all the way around. Strip of hot glue right at the back to finish it off, and trim it off. Then a little glue right on the top of the egg there, tack that down. Little glue right in the front to tack it down again, and all on the inside. And the exact same thing with the other boot. Glue it down all the way around, wrap it, finish it off with a strip of glue, trim off our extra, glue all the way around, tack it on the inside of your container, and glue on the top of the egg as well. Tacking it down, little glue right at the front to push it down if you need to. Next we are going to add our legs, so I'm just going to poke those in. I did need to use a knife to get through the fabric a little bit. Just poke your skewers right into your styrofoam though, through the fabric, so you need a knife if need be. A little hot glue right at the bottom of those booties, and we're going to push firmly our legs in. Next we're going to start on our coffee bag, and I'm just going to use this burlap material, and I'm just going to cut a rectangle kind of shape here. So it is about 9 inches by about 3.5 inches. So now for the good side, I am just folding down and hot gluing one strip, and then folding down again, just gluing down the ends the second time. So a full strip the first time, glue it all the way down, and then just the ends the second fold. Next, we are going to glue our good side to good side, just our sides together, making the sides of our bag. I'm just using the end of the hair foam rollers actually to push it together, just because it is really hot and it goes right through that burlap. So we're just going to glue the other side now too, and then we'll turn our bag right side out. It did come apart a little bit on me right at the top, so I added a little hot glue again and just held it together with a clamp. Stuff a little polyfill in the bottom. Use a little brown minky just to top that off, just to cover up that polyfill, and give us something a little bit more to glue our coffee beans onto. So now I'm just going to use these regular coffee beans. We're just going to dump those into a lid for now, and I'm just going to add some hot glue and start putting those all along the inside here. And then putting them all over the place, making it look like it's nice and full. Add them so it looks like it's kind of spilling out of the bag. My craft room smells so much like coffee when I make these, it is amazing. And now we're just going to add a couple right on the front as well. I'm going to tack down the corners just to make it look a little more like a coffee bag. We don't want it quite so square on the ends. Add a little hot glue, and I just attached that to the bottom of his sleeve. Sorry you didn't see that, I got a little high up there. And now I'm just going to add a little glue on the other side as well and attach that to his bag on his hand. And next I just took these little wooden signs that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to add some brown acrylic paint, some really watered down brown acrylic paint. I really watered it down first and then just went over it lightly on both sides. Dried that up, took a white acrylic marker now, and I just made little dots all the way around the edge. They're really hard to see, but I just kind of went all the way around, and then I went over it a second time to brighten them up a little bit so you could see them better. And then I just wrote "Coffee is life" on them. As neat as I can. I am not the best at lettering, but I try. Had to go over it a couple times to make it nice and bright. And then we're just going to add a couple little coffee beans again to our sign. A little E6000 to the back of that just to make sure it sticks. And some hot glue. And I just attached that right to the front of his hat, along with some jute rope here that I just wrapped around the base now. So we're just going to finish off his bow. And he's all done. Hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. The craft room smells amazing right now, so if you're going to make this, enjoy that. And thanks again for watching. I really appreciate all you guys so much. And make sure to check back again soon for more creations. And make sure to subscribe and like if you haven't done that. And until next time, love to all.